Murphy actually kind of got them going again, too, because when only a few people raised their hands, he was like, oh, so it's fine to hang me, but when this little bitch does it, you all, like, I can't remember exactly what he said, but, like, he went off, and then a couple...
Yeah, he was like, you all was so willing to hang me, but still, there were only a couple of people with him, because remember, his little gang, he had like 3 or 4 people with him, but that's why Bell said, it's over. He sucker punched him and ran into the tent to go get Charlotte to hang her, and Clark and Finn had helped her escape. Yep. So during this time, up on the Ark, Raven has tried to get a pressure regulator because that's what she needs. Huh?
Yeah, she's trying to get that pressure regulator, but
yeah, she's trying to get a pressure regulator from Nigel. And Nigel said, well, look, I kind of owe...
Nigel wants her to go and regulate someone's pressure.
Yes, he wants her to go to release some pressure. And Raven's like, are you nuts? Why would I do that? Basically, what she said, your hoe ass mom did it all the time.
Yeah.
Raven was like, what? She went off on her.
Yeah. Raven clearly knew her mom was doing those things, though.
Yeah, she clearly knew her mom was doing that. So
I think a lot of the parents on the Ark were subjected to that. A lot of the women on the Ark were subjected to that.
Why do you say that?
Even when you see Aurora and the guards are coming and the guy grabs her ass.
Oh, I didn't see that.
She's giving him his laundry.
I didn't see that.
I think like the lower class women were monopolized a bit.
Sexual harassment in space over 100 years from now. Kind of telling, huh?
Yeah.
So
it only goes down from here, ladies and gentlemen.
It only goes down from here. Or after Raven was unsuccessful in getting the pressure regulator, she tells Abby, and Abby goes to see Nigel, and she bribes her with some morphine.
Yeah.
She bribes her with some morphine to get the pressure regulator, and Nigel actually turns her in. She took the morphine.
I know, what a rat.
I know, she took the morphine, but she took the morphine with intentions, because she ends up ratting her out, but she kept that morphine as evidence. So Nigel told Kane that Abby Abby was looking for a pressure regulator.
Yeah.
And of course, Kane didn't believe it. He's like, get out of here. He said, who's going to believe you if we go to the council? And she's like, oh, well, here's the morphine that she bribed me with, that she paid for it with. That leads into something, him taking her out later on. So now we're back on Earth, and Clark and Finn and Charlotte are walking through the woods. Escaping the mob.
Yeah.
Clark's telling her, listen, you're a murderer. Don't think that because I helped you escape, that I agree with you or you're right. You can't go around doing this.
Because Charlotte's scared and she goes to grab her hand.
Yeah. And so Finn was like, hey, I have a place we can go. And he takes them down to the bunker, baby. They go down in the bunker to kind of hide Char away. And during that time, she's like, why don't you tell everybody this? He's like, well, there's nothing down here unless you want me to share all of your, paintbrush or pencils that he gave her?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Crayons and stuff.
Yeah. They're in a bunker, hiding from the mob, and they're talking about a little time passes, and they put Charlotte to sleep, and they're talking, about...
With a room full of candles.
Huh?
With a room full of candles.
Room full of candles, baby. And during this time, they're talking about, look, they're gonna they're going to kill us for helping her escape. You know, we got to figure this thing out. And they thought Charlotte was asleep, and she was actually listening. And the guilt's building up. They pan over to Charlotte with her eyes open, kind of hearing the conversation, and you can see the guilt building up in her face and eyes. Anything you want to add there?
So then Finn and Clark end up falling asleep, and when they wake up, Charlotte's not there anymore. And like, they all fell asleep with the candles lit, and I know my parents burned into my brain when I was a kid. Never fall asleep with the candles lit. Especially in a
closed-in bunker.
Yeah.
I mean...
So I remember watching that thinking like, man, that's a safety hazard.
TV magic, baby. So eventually they spend the night there, and they wake up. Finn and Clark wake up, and she's left. They find that she's left, and they're like, wait, she's gone. So we find out that she went to turn herself in, and Bellamy caught up with her in the woods. And this is what pissed me off. He's trying to save her, and she's like, no, I'm over here. She's yelling, and I'm like, man, if you don't shut your little ass up, you have a mob chasing you. What are you doing? Like, shut up. But she was determined that she was going to face her punishment.
Yeah. And plus she still had what Clark and Finn were saying reeling through her mind, that like if they helped her, they'd be killed too, right?
Yeah.
And she didn't want Bellamy to be killed because he was the one that helped her get over her demons.
Right. She was a brave little girl. You know, she was owning her stuff. Yeah. And so when she does all this damn yelling, Clark and Bellamy hear her, and they run over to find her.
Yeah. And then they're all just standing there on the end of a cliff.
Yeah, they're all standing there on the end of they're all standing there on the end of the cliff, but
the edge of the cliff, rather.
The edge of the cliff, right. So they run over to find Bellamy at the edge of a cliff, running away from the mob. And he's surrounded Murphy and his little minions. And he's like, Murphy's like, okay, hand her over. And with all of them being backed up to the cliff, you know, I was going to say their backs against the wall, but their backs are against a cliff. And Clark's like, no way. She walks up on Murph, and he grabs her by the neck and puts a knife to it and said, okay, this is how this is going to happen. Turn over Charlotte, and I'll let Clark go. But otherwise, I'm killing Clark, and we're going to kill Charlotte. And of course, Belle and Finn are like, this isn't going to happen. We're not giving her up. And Clark, the knife to her neck, said, don't give her up. Charlotte says, well, I don't want anybody else to get hurt. It's me they want. I'll do it. Let her go. I'll face the music.
Yeah.
She's trying to convince them to let Murph kill her. So he has Clark by the neck with the knife to her throat, trying to tell them to give up. They're not agreeing. Charlotte steps in and says, okay, it's me they want. I don't want you guys to get hurt.
They're not having it. They're like, no.
Not happening. So they kind of take the camera off Charlotte a little bit and pan in on the Bellamy and Murph confrontation or standoff.
Yeah. Because it's so kicking off because they haven't come to a resolution yet.
Yeah. Yeah, they just can't come to a resolution. So next thing we know, Charlotte sees that this isn't going to end well for Clark. So she takes a swan dive off the cliff. Now, this was tragic, but man, watching it for a couple of times, I rewinded a few times. Man, that was a long ass dive, and she just kind of disappeared into the darkness. I was like, damn.
Watching her body disappear into the abyss was hilarious.
Yeah.
And I'm pretty sure that makes us horrible people.
Now, I mean, when you're watching it, no, but rewatching it, like, you find terrible stuff funny. That was funny. Like, she literally swan dove off the cliff. She just killed herself.
For me, when I watched Titanic, when the ship's sinking, and the guy falls and he hits his head off of the smokestack, and all you hear is ping.
Like, damn.
That noise just makes me bust into laughter every time I watch that movie. And I feel so horrible, but it's just so funny.
Oh, yeah, that's hilarious. I know exactly what you're talking about.
It's just like, poof, and it's, I don't know.
Yep. So, at this point, when she dives off the cliff, Clark loses it. Finn loses it. Everybody loses it. And, you know, Clark's just at the cliff crying and bawling. Bellamy just wails off and beats the living crap out of Murph. I was so happy. He was just pounding him like hamburger. And Clark goes from screaming about Charlotte flying off the cliff to like, no, you can't kill him. Don't do this. I'm like, wait, 5 seconds ago, she was crying about her, and then she's telling him to stop. Like, she had a range of emotions in a very short time span.
But Charlotte jumping off that cliff led to an amazing. I found it to be an amazingly dramatic dialogue with Clark and Bellamy.
Oh yeah,
and I'm not talking about like some like romantic kind of thing, more in a sense of just like, just a moment of like Clark the brains and Bellamy the bronze coming together.
Yeah. To
like solidify their chaotic working bond that they kind of have.
Mm-hmm.
When they kind of like, there needs to be rules and who's going to make those rules? And they kind of finally have an actual conversation with each other as the two co-leaders of this group.
Yeah, good point.
And they actually finally have a sensible conversation about how shit's going to be run.
Yeah. You want to expound on that a little bit? Well, basically, go ahead.
Clark basically tells Bellamy that they need to come to some sort of conclusion on that there have to be consequences for people's actions. You can't just be, or I think it's Bellamy that's saying that. Maybe you should do this because I don't know if it was Bellamy or Clark leading that.
So, just a long story short, we can just kind of summarize it up. Like Ash was saying, they said we got to come to some kind of resolution around this. There has to be consequences for actions. So Belle is like, you don't want me to kill him, so what? We just let him go free. She's like, no, we banish him. Finn, he really wasn't happy. He didn't want to banish him. He wanted to kill him. He literally wanted to kill him. So
Bellamy.
Bellamy wanted to kill him. So he just grabs him up as he's laying there, half beaten to death with his little mob watching, hangs him over the cliff and says, if you come back to this camp, we're going to end up right back here and I'm going to toss your ass off this cliff. That's basically what he said. And he told his little mob, you can be banished with him or you can come back to camp and follow my lead. You make the decision. I thought that was powerful. You know what?
Yeah.
Go ahead and be with him, but I'm gonna give you the opportunity to come back just so his ass can be out here by himself. You know, that was kind of what I was thinking. He's like, okay, well, you won't have a group out here with you. You're gonna be out there by yourself. So that was the decision. And as they're leaving, Finn takes that knife. He tosses it to Murph and just walks off. I thought that was kind of
I know, that was funny.
Hey, here you go.
Here, bro.
Good luck.
Here, Here, bro, you might need this out here, man.
Yeah, you probably gonna need this. Either to eat or to kill yourself. But, that's settled. They're back at camp. Clark's upset. So she runs off to the bunker. and her and